Hi everyone, welcome to another art journal tutorial on my YouTube channel. And here is me browsing you through some of the pages. So I was thinking to do a flip through soon on my art journal on the YouTube channel. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment below. So today I wanted to do more of a vintage page tutorial, and for that one of my hack which I normally use in a lot of my art journal is combining my white gesso with a different watercolor medium. So it could be liquid watercolors, it could be distress ink, etc. Here I am using vintage photo distress ink with Craft Angles white gesso and kind of mixing it to make my own version of tinted gesso, and then just applying it as a base coat on the journal. Now, for this particular one, I wanted to kind of create a floral page, but at the same time make it very vintagey. So here I have decided to kind of, create a layered papered look, and on that top of that, I'll do some stamping, and it will look like the flower has emerged from the a layer of earth. So that was the idea. And for that, I have selected this particular paper by Craft Angles. This is called as old paper. So I have this one sheet which has a lot of script in it, and then there is other piece which has some musical note script in it, and I decided I'll kind of use them to create a layout that I had in my mind. Now, just to make sure that I have some interest in depth, I kind of hand tone each and every piece of the paper, which you'll see a lot in this particular tutorial, and then I kind of ink the edges using the same distress ink, which is vintage photo. And then once I was happy with how the paper has torn, and how I have the sets of paper ready, I kind of started gluing them onto the paper to actually create a layout using some decoupage glue. Now here I personally prefer using decoupage glue because I wanted to make sure that they are sealed properly into the paper. So as in future, as and when I open a lot of pages in the journal, it does not kind of disintegrate because the paper is not stuck properly. So in such kind of cases, I would definitely suggest that you use kind of a decoupage glue, so that ways you can make sure that the complete bits of paper are stick on top of your journal, etc. Now, once I was happy with how the layered of papers looked, I kind of went ahead and did some stamping on top of it. I'm using this stamp, and then I've stamped it using some waterproof ink. Now, I personally prefer using VersaFine Onyx waterproof ink for all my projects. They last longer, and they are waterproof, of course, so I can play with a lot of watercolors once the ink is dry. So here I decided to kind of use only mute colors. So we are using some browns, and then we are using black for coloring the flower. And then the black that I have used is Craft Angles liquid watercolor. So this is the blackberry color. Again, whatever products I use or talk about, they, as always, they'll be linked below in the description of my YouTube tutorial, so you can directly check them out, or you can also check the block link, which will also have the links of the product. So here I am not kind of doing a very in-depth coloring. As you can see, I have just decided initially where my shadows will be. I'm kind of adding my dark color there, and then I'm going back with a lighter version of the same color and coloring the places where there'll be highlights. So a very simple coloring, nothing extremely fancy. And then once I'm happy with how the flowers look, I will kind of decide to add some splatters, simply because they kind of add more vintagey look, so it looks more like a old paper. And then just to make it even further vintagey, I kind of added the same version of black colors into just nearby the flowers, so it will look like this is an old, like a coffee lined parchment paper, or an old paper which has a lot of colors over the period of time that has stuck on top of it, etc. So that's the idea. And then this is another favorite trick of mine which has come, is using the base of a bottle and using that as a stamp to create this kind of coffee mug stain kind of an effect. And that is what I did. And then whatever was left over of the paint, I just added it on the top of the page using some smooshing technique, using a scrap plastic piece of paper. Once I was happy with, how the paint has dried and everything, I took a few more pieces of the same paper, again did the same technique, hand tore it, and then I started sticking them on the right side of the journal, as well as I'm using the same pages on the left side to, kind of create a layout and repeating the same things again, so they look much more cohesive. Here I'm kind of sticking them first with Fevicol because I was not sure on what kind of layout I wanted to go, and then as you can see I'm sealing them with decoupage glues just to make sure that they're completely stuck. Then I'm using one of the Tim Holtz sticker. This is a old sticker book. This has a lot of vintage colored quotes, so I thought they'll go perfectly with the particular page that I had in my mind. And these are the two quotes that I selected, and I was kind of playing around with the placements, and this is what I came up with. And then just to make the quotes further pop, I'm using my Sakura Pigma Micron pen to just add some borders. So that was the page for today, a very quick and easy page, something which was vintage. And I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and do consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you back soon with another tutorial. Till then guys, take care. Bye bye.